All right. What up, everybody? Hold on a second. Let's double check that we are live because you never know with YouTube. And then we'll rock this discussion, okay? Once we hear my annoying voice, of course. All right. What up, everybody? Hold on a second. Let's double check that we are live. Okay, we are live. If you hear the whizzing sound of the fan in the background, it's because I don't have AC, so I have a couple of fans here to. My room is like a sauna right now. It's freaking hot. Okay, so I want to give you this latest update, and of course, yes, it's obviously because mainly I'm a DC fan. No offense to Marvel out there. So um, let's see, let's get the picture back up here. And so this article is very lengthy. This was from today, uh, 5 hours ago at 2 p.m. here at Variety by writers Brent Lang and Adam V. Very. And they are giving us like a ton of updates about DC. As you know, this past week, just to give you some context again, in case you were hiding under the rock this past week, WB Discovery, under the CEO David Zaslav, I think his name, they decided to shelve Batgirl this past week, and the $90 million budget that already finished filming, and they're not gonna release it at all. Maybe not ever. And so that was the big news. And then it got followed with the cancellation of a lot of HBO Max shows, Made for Love, Raised by Wolves, and Zaslav said, "Hey, we're gonna focus on the theatrical, not so much on the movie exclusively just for HBO Max kind of stuff. So we're gonna reevaluate the HBO Max, and then the big announcement on Thursday: HBO Max and Discovery Plus merging into one streaming service." Which is weird because nobody watches Discovery Plus unless it's for Shark Attack Week. um, so that's another big news. So this past week has been like one after the other, rolling about WB Discovery. And then the other big news that you also heard that I shared with you on the live stream is that Zaslav wants WB Discovery to emulate Marvel Studios, the success of Marvel Studios. They want to emulate Marvel by coming up with their own 10-year DC plan, like a expansive plan, sort of a deal. Which is fine. I told you guys that's fine to have that dream, but how are you gonna have that aspiration to be like Marvel if you're not gonna believe in your characters, if you're not gonna believe in your projects, the way that Marvel believes in theirs? Because Marvel busts out all these kooky, strange stuff, like freaking talking raccoon, freaking Wanda Vision that's based on like the TVs of the past. They're brave. They're braver. They're more bold in taking a gamble on their own stuff. But you don't. DC or WB Discovery, you guys don't do that on to your DC property. You guys are like always weighing all the stuff. Like, oh, should we do this? Should we get the tax write offs instead of like releasing it? It's like just just do it, man. Go with the Nike logo, all right? So that's what I said to you guys. Like, it's fine to try to emulate Marvel, but if you're not gonna believe in your project the way Marvel believes in their projects to the nth degree, then what's the point? Then what is the point in trying to emulate Marvel? Because you're not gonna achieve it being that way. So anyway, so this is the update. It's a very lengthy article. I suggest you guys read it on your own time at your own convenience. But I want to read a few excerpts here, at least some of the important ones. Let's see here. Why is here you go? Is my live stream frozen? I think my live stream is a little bit frozen, guys. Sorry about this. Okay. So here, let me make it bigger here. I'll make it bigger. I can't make it bigger. Oh, come on. What? I paid like about I think $200 every year for this live stream. But okay, so maybe if I just X out this ad, okay, maybe. How about now? Okay, maybe this will do. Okay. Sorry about that. Maybe it's the advertisement that makes the page slower here. So I've xed out the advertisement, and you know, Variety and Hollywood Reporter, they always get a ton of advertisements on their page. Um, when Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav spoke to investors on August 4, the very first question was about his decision, announced 2 days earlier to cancel the release of DC Comics adaptation Batgirl, taking the HBO Max production as well, Scoob Holiday Hunt, the Scooby Doo movie, as a text write down instead. If Zaslav hoped his answer might help to quell the firestorm that choice created across the industry, he appears to have done the opposite. Zaslav made public what had been reported and rumored for months, that the company had restructured to create a team with a 10-year plan focusing just on DC that would be similar to the structure that Alan Horn and Bob Iger put together very effectively with Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige at Disney. But the executive who took the reins of the company in April did not disclose who would be a part of that team, nor did he acknowledge that Walter Hamada, the executive who's led the DC Films unit since 2018, actually has a long-term plan for DC Cinematic Universe and has been in the middle of implementing it. This is problematic because isn't Walter Hamada um, the guy who clashes with Ray Fisher? Remember Ray Fisher who plays Cyborg? I think Walter Hamada is one of the people that he has problem or he has beef with, along with Jeff Johns and all the other guys as well, and of course Joss Whedon with that Justice League movie. I think Walter Hamada is, but then I might be mistaken. I gotta double check it again. But yeah, I'm not sure about Walter Hamada. If Zaslav wants DC Films, this 10-year plan, this 10-year expansive plan to be working effectively, to be working well, I'm not sure Walter Hamada is the right guy for it. You know, like, this is also another problem. Like, you're trying to move forward or progress to a new venture with DC to emulate Marvel, and yet you're employing or you're acquiring the same old talent from previous. I was like, how's that gonna work? I thought this was gonna be a fresh thing. So anyway, let me continue. While Zaslav's new announced reset for DC appeared to dismiss Hamada and his team's version, lack of specific and some mixed signals, has created an atmosphere of confusion. So it seems like Zaslav here is, what's the word I'm looking for? It seems that Zaslav here is not being completely honest about the details of his so-called reset to trying to emulate Marvel. It's like, oh yeah, we're not gonna disclose all these other stuff. Has created an atmosphere of confusion and rampant speculation over the future of more than a dozen DC films and TV projects already in the pipeline. As it stands, Daniel's Hot Topics, you are late. We already discussed that topic earlier today. But you can vote on the poll, on the survey poll, on the community page of Rama Screen YouTube channel. As it stands, only one new DC feature project currently has a Greenlit post-merger Joker Folie à Deux, which is Joker 2, which is scheduled to hit theaters to 2024. The follow-up to the wildly successful, we got that, with Lady Gaga. Todd Phillips are believed to be getting $20 million payday. New co-star Lady Gaga is getting a $10 million payday. Those salaries combined with the cost of producing complicated musical sequences means that the sequel, Joker 2, will cost roughly $150 million to produce. Wow. That is massive. We talked earlier today about The Flash being $200 million. This is still expensive as well, $150 million. That's still cheaper than most superhero movies, which often cost upwards $200 million, like the Batman, for example, which earned a solid $770 million globally in the pandemic environment. Writer-director Matt Reeves is on track for a sequel with star Robert Pattinson, but the project remains in development and does not yet have a green light. Any future film is years away. Several other DC properties have been in development, as feature films, some for years. Wonder Woman 3, Zatanna. Oh, I would love to see Zatanna. Zatanna is one of my favorite DC characters. Um, Plus, she's hot. Okay, and do you remember Serinda Swan playing Zatanna in Smallville? Oh, she was so perfect in that role. Anyway, Static Shock with Michael B. Jordan producing, but there haven't been any substantive updates on these films since news of them first broke. Um, so yeah, that's part of the title of this video. The Batman 2 is not yet greenlit. I don't think this is a cause for concern at this point. I don't think we should be panicking. Oh my god, the Batman 2 is gonna be in trouble. What's gonna happen? Dude, they just haven't greenlit it. They just haven't greenlit the project. That Matt Reeves is writing the script. As always, he likes to direct his own shit. He doesn't like to direct other people's script. So give it some time. So this is not really too panicky. I noticed on Twitter a lot of people are already like up in arms about it. It's like, oh my god, if they cancel the Batman 2, if they shelve the Batman 2, we're gonna riot. It's like, no, dude. It's not that dire. And with the Batman, the first movie, um, getting $770 million globally, even during the pandemic, on a cost of $200 million, that's a hell lot of profit. I think what I'm getting at is like WB Discovery may not have a lot of faith in many of the DC properties that they have under or that they're developing, but this is what Batman is, a cash cow. Batman is always their cash cow. So if there is one faith, one belief, one person or one character, one icon, one property that they always like can gamble on, it's this one. So for example, if by next year I'm just hypothesizing it. If for example next year Martin Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino decides, you know what, I'm gonna make a new Batman movie with WB. WB's gonna like put that on like the first in their line, like to put money in or to spend money or to make sure that that project gets priority. Because why? It's the Batman. So I don't think this is much of a cause of concern. I don't think they're gonna try to cancel it or whatever. Matt Reeves is just still working on it, so they haven't greenlit it yet. Let's see. Meanwhile, the idea of launching straight to streaming DC branded films appears to have been abandoned, like I mentioned to you before. They're not focusing on HBO Max only stuff. They're only focusing on theatrical. Okay. So cancellation of Batgirl. DC also had intended to introduce several less prominent characters on HBO Max. Blue Beetle, which features the first Mexican American big screen superhero, had originally been part of the strategy, but even before Zaslav took the reins, the film pivoted to a traditional release with a $100 million budget. It will now open in theaters in 2023. So that's an update. Blue Beetle was supposed to be an original HBO Max movie, just like Batgirl, but now Blue Beetle is gonna be a theatrical movie, which will open next year. It says here, but we're only like 1 year away from next year. We haven't heard much about Blue Beetle, marketing wise. But that's at least the hope is that next year with $100 million budget. But Batgirl will not. Okay, so Batgirl will not get theatrical release. After a disappointing screening of a 10-week director's cut led to middling test scores. Wow, so that I haven't heard before. So they did a test screening for Batgirl, of course, just the insiders at WB, and apparently it didn't score really well with them. So I guess that is part of the reasoning as to why they decide to shelve Batgirl. But I don't know, man. Maybe because I'm speaking as a fan of DC, like just let the people decide. Let us see it. Let us be the judge of it. Like, so a few people in suits like got to test screen this shit and they didn't like it. So, but they released Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds, which turned out to be a mess. So what? They thought that was great in the test score. I was like, I don't know. It's just like let us be the judge of that. Let us see Batgirl for ourselves, like the audiences, the fans. But apparently this is part of the decision why they uh, decided to shelve Batgirl. And Batgirl was designed to be watched on television, not on a big screen. So it lacked the kind of gargantuan set pieces that could have goosed its score. But attempting to expand the movie into a big screen proposition would have required reshoots, which Warner Brothers Discovery deemed to be a waste of money. So that's another information that we hadn't heard before. So basically, they said, you know what, it's not worth it. Batgirl is just not a worthy investment, not worthy to reshoot it. And this movie is a TV movie quality. Um, so we're just gonna like not let it see the light of day ever. Um, to that argument, I could, I get saying that some movies are not made for the big screen, and we have used that argument, right? When we watch some movies, like, yeah, this is a Hallmark Channel movie, or this is like a Netflix movie quality. This is action, yeah, but yeah, more of a Fox action, instead of a theatrical release. I get that. I get that. But still, like, you're leaving me dying here in curiosity. Like, how, in what way is it a not big screen quality? Like, the guys who made Batgirl are the same guys who made Bad Boys 3. And Bad Boys 3 was amazing, in my opinion. Okay, Bad Boys 3 was a great sequel. That was fantastic. We waited for so long for Bad Boys 3, and then when it arrived, it was badass. So I don't know how they could like just minimize something that's iconic, like Bad Girls, an iconic character made by the boys of Bad Boys 3, and just poo-poo it as some sort of like, this is a Netflix movie quality or a Hallmark movie quality. It's like, psh. It's like, let us see it. Let us be the judge of that. So it's just it's so frustrating with the WB Discovery, right? So Black Canary standalone movie. Okay, here's another update. Okay, so come on, live stream. Can I highlight this, please? Okay, freaking live stream video, man. Okay, Black Canary standalone movie starring Journey Smollett reprising the title role from the Birds of Prey movie is still reportedly in development for HBO Max. So they haven't canceled Black Canary HBO Max movie. Um, will they cancel it? Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. Okay, I'm not gonna hold my breath for Black Canary. Okay, so but at this point they haven't officially canceled it yet. And newly installed WB Pictures Group mischief Michael DeLuca and Pam Abbey, in seeking to mend fences with Batgirl star Leslie Grace, are entertaining the possibility of having her continue to play Batgirl in a future DC film, or at least star in another WB production. Okay, so this is another update. Basically, they're saying that, hey, HBO Max doesn't want to burn bridges with the star of Batgirl, Leslie Grace. They still want to be in the business of Leslie Grace, so they're thinking about, WB Discovery are thinking about, yeah, maybe we're still gonna have her play Batgirl, but not necessarily release Batgirl movie, but we're gonna have her play Batgirl in, I don't know, I'm spitballing here, Shazam 3. Maybe she's gonna show up there, or she's gonna show up in the Flash 2. You know what I'm saying? Or she's gonna show up in the other DC properties, Black Adam 2. Hey, there's Leslie Grace as Batgirl. So that's one way to do it, and it says here they are entertaining the possibility. So maybe they're still in discussion with her about this idea. Whether or not she's gonna agree to it, that's up to Leslie, of course. After they did her so dirty with Batgirl being shelved, I wouldn't blame Leslie Grace if she chooses to be upset for a while. I would be upset. I'm like, what? What? You're trying to like hold kumbaya on me right now and trying to, swing the deal like, oh, I'm still gonna be Batgirl in other projects, but not gonna have my movie release. Yeah, f you. But that's just me. I'm not Leslie Grace. Maybe she's gonna be more graceful about it. Um, Whatever film might feature Grace in the Batgirl cape and cowl again will likely be up to whomever Zaslav ultimately empowers to lead DC. Okay, here it is. By directly citing Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios as a model for DC's future in the earnings call, Zaslav threw more fuel onto an already raging rumor mill over who could get the job. One example, Greg Berlanti, who oversees many of DC's television properties, has been loudly whispered as a possibility for the role. I to tell you guys, I'm actually a fan of Greg Berlanti. I love the way he did Arrowverse on the CW. I know not a lot of those shows are great qualities, especially Supergirl series. I stopped watching Supergirl like after season 2 or season 3 because it went so crap. But at least Greg Berlanti was bringing all these characters onto the screen, the small screen, over these past years, and so you got to give him credit for that. Whether or not Greg Berlanti will get to be the head of DC Film, that remains to be seen. But if I was to get if I would be able to vote for it, yes, Greg Berlanti would have my vote. Just want to let you guys know. Um, Berlanti has not pursued the job, and insiders believe that the superstar producer would not be interested in going in-house. Dan Lin, producer of Lego Movie Sherlock Holmes, is also part of the names considered. But Lin remains committed to his own production company, Rideback, okay, which has a deal with Universal. Um, Marvel Studios' style of integrated film and TV storytelling would be also far more complicated to implement at Warner Brothers Discovery. Feige runs his own filmdom at Disney, but any TV productions for DC would also need to flow through HBO Max chief Casey Bloys and or Warner Brothers TV chair Channing Dungey, stymieing the independence of whomever would try to coordinate DC film and TV storytelling. Okay, so what this paragraph is saying is that, do you remember when Marvel Studios absorbed Marvel Television? I was upset. I was sad about that because I was a fan of Marvel Television. Big fan of Jeff Leb. Big fan of what Marvel Television had done. With the Defenders on Netflix, with Runaways on Hulu. They were great. They were fantastic. So I was sad when Marvel Studios absorbed Marvel Television. But you know what? That was the right business move, because you can call it power grab, and it was a power grab on Feige. Feige wants to make everything under his own control, but the result is that it's more streamlined. Like in this paragraph says, he runs his own thing. Like, okay, so any projects will run by him, as opposed to what's happening at DC. There are a lot of what do you call, a lot of chefs in the kitchen. Right now they don't even know who they're gonna hire for their DC film, and now they have this HBO Max chief, Warner Brothers TV chair, Channing Dungey, Casey Bloys. So it has to be like really filtered through all these people's. So it's a hassle. It's a headache. I get it. So this is another puzzle that they have to solve. This is another thing that they have to crack. They have to get to the bottom of. Like how are they going to do this? Because at Marvel Studios, with Kevin in charge and his team, it's like a well-oiled machine. Everything just like whatever properties that they want to put out there, however silly it may be, like that short I Am Groot that they released recently. Like, yeah, you know what? It's no brainer. We're not gonna have too much discussion or debate about it. We're not gonna have too much complication about it. Whereas in WB Discovery, there's all these people that there are all these in charge of all these other segments, and it's a headache. So I have to admit that the power grab or the absorbing of Marvel Studios was a pretty good decision move. I'm still sad about it, though. I'm still sad about it. I was a big fan of Marvel Television, but I just want to put it out there. Zaslav remains steadfast in his plan for a single DC vertical led by an executive reporting directly to him. So that's the plan. Until that position is filled, and it likely won't be for months. Wow, months? The status quo continues at the company, with Walter Hamada overseeing DC Film under Abdi and DeLuca, the latter of whom has demonstrated his fanboy bona fides in meetings and impress people at DC with his knowledge of comic book arcana. Okay, so we can skip this line. Walter Hamada being still in charge of DC Films is baffling to me, in my opinion. Yeah, see, here you go. Walter Hamada clash with Ray Fisher. I knew it. I knew it. I remember something about it, and this paragraph confirmed it. Hamada, you know, Ray Fisher accused Hamada, among many other names, including Jeff Johns, of messing with his investigation into the misconduct allegations related to reshoots on the film, which is Joss Whedon. So that was the drama with Walter Hamada. So the fact that Walter Hamada is still overseeing DC properties under WB Discovery, and that is an information that, by the way, Zaslav did not disclose at the earnings call. It's a little unethical to me, and Walter Hamada is just problematic overall. Even if Hamada remains in his job, Zaslav still plans to transform DC film and TV efforts from a confederation of semi-integrated productions into a single MCU-style creative endeavor. Doing so, complicated plans for a host of TV titles. Okay, so we're going to TV now. So where's the TV? Okay, so here it is. Harley Quinn, the profane animated series Harley Quinn, currently streaming in third season, has a major following and would seem to be safe. So those of you guys who are worried about Harley Quinn being canceled, you guys can take a breath of relief for now, because it says here like there's no threat against Harley Quinn, threat of being canceled, at least for now. Where it's still to be determined whether live-action DC shows Titans and Doom Patrol would be renewed after new seasons of both shows premiere later this year. Titans is on the third season. Doom Patrol is on the third season. So what they're saying here, that season 4 is coming up later this year. And there's no guarantee that the show would get renewed after that. That they might get canceled. How do I feel about this? To tell you the truth, guys, I'm a big fan of both shows, but I think I'm a bigger fan of Titans more than I am Doom Patrol. But I'm not hating on Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is such a unique show because it's so bizarre. It embraces its own absurdity. You know what I'm saying? If you've seen Doom Patrol, the drama is just so kooky and weird. It's like they're really going for that, the award season that the award season will never recognize Doom Patrol anyway, but they're really trying for it anyway. Damn it, we're gonna try. Whereas Titans, it's just straight story of drama and action. And then this past season 3, they brought in Barbara Gordon in the wheelchair. That was fantastic storyline with the Red Hood. So it's like revenge, vengeance, retaliation. It's just old school, action kind of motivation kind of story. So I love that. Am I gonna be sad if these two shows get canceled? Yeah, I will be bummed out about it. But I think you can agree that 4 seasons is a pretty good run. If they do get the new season 4 later this year, like this paragraph said, I think 4 seasons for a show like this is a pretty good run. It's not devastating, as opposed to like if they get canceled after 1 season or 2 seasons or abruptly. I think 4 seasons are pretty good. Maybe you don't agree with me on that, but allowing Titans and Doom Patrol to have their upcoming season 4 would probably be a good way to say like, hey, we're gonna let you guys have this new season, as a way to say goodbye to your fans. I'm okay with that, as opposed to just cancel it like they cancel Raised by Wolves or Made for Love without any conclusion, without any resolve. You know what I'm saying? Just abruptly cancel it, leaving the show hanging, leaving the fans hanging. So if they do cancel Titans and Doom Patrol after season 4, the upcoming season 4, I don't think I would be as sad if they had as opposed to if they had canceled right now, today. So that's my reaction to that. And we're on the last paragraph here. Then there's J.J. Abrams' plans for Justice League Dark Series, which would be an Avengers-style show featuring DC characters from the titular team. Spin-offs featuring DC characters such as Constantine and Madame Xanadu remain in active development. Oh, that's awesome. I love Constantine. Hopefully they could get Matt, what's his name? Matt Ryan, right? Back in the role. Um, by the way, the Constantine movie starring Keanu Reeves is available on Netflix. Man, blast from the past. I watched it the other day and it's like, oh my God, how come he doesn't have a Liverpool, British accent? What is going on here? um, but yeah, I it would be great if this Madame Xanadu and Constantine series happened, and it would be great if Matt could come back in the role. These two remain in active development. Constantine producers have even scouted locations in preparation to start shooting in early 2023, but the everyday risks faced by any production have been compounded by the shock of the Batgirl cancellation and uncertainty over who will be the new big boss at DC. Whether will it be Dan Lin? Will it be Greg Berlanti? No one knows yet. So here it is. These are the many updates regarding DC properties for TV shows and movies. Um, I'm just really like really nervous, man. This is my final thought. I'm so nervous with Zaslav in charge, with Zaslav being the head of WB Discovery. And I mentioned to you guys that this guy, Zaslav, is a corporate guy. He's a corporate dude. He's not a content good dude. If you look up his background, he's all about uh, cost cutting, cutting labor, cutting costs, and increasing profit for shareholders. He doesn't he doesn't come from the background of creative storytelling. He doesn't come from the background of contents and like what is good quality content for audiences. What do our fans like? No, he doesn't see things that way. He may he may he may present himself that way when he says like, oh yeah, we're gonna emulate Marvel, but it's always in the back of his head. I know these kind of people. I know people like Zaslav. In the back of their head, they're always thinking like, okay, how is this gonna be profitable for our shareholders, for our investors at Wall Street? That's how they think. That's how people like Zaslav think, and so it makes me nervous as a DC fan for all these DC properties to be handled by people like Zaslav. And I think I'll leave it at that. Um, Tyler says, "I'll trade them Doom Patrol and Titans to see Batgirl. Can we make trades like in sports?" That would be a great idea if it could happen. That would be pretty cool. I would be with you right there, Tyler. Definitely. Uh, if only, right? If only that was the case. If only it was like sport. If only superhero movies have draft day. You know what I'm saying? Or transfer day for soccer fans as well. Tyler says, "I love that these shows like Titans, Doom Patrol, and Harley Quinn continue to survive, hopping to multiple streaming services." Yes, because remember they came from DC Universe and DC Universe imploded. Nobody subscribed to DC Universe. Now DC Universe is more of a comic book stuff. So not so much a shows and movies anymore. And yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what their fate's gonna be under I'm sorry, HBO Max Discovery streaming service, whatever name they're gonna have for that merge. So we'll see, we'll see. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna go film my next new video review tonight, and tomorrow I gotta go back to work. And then this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, are the HCA TV Awards, Hollywood Critics Association TV Awards. So it's gonna be fantastic. I'm gonna be busy the whole weekend, just watching celebrities at an award ceremony. HCA is a Critics Association that I'm a part of, so I'm very proud to support that. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna attend the ceremony myself. So yeah, it's. Dominic says in Megamind, Button of Doom, Megamind tries to be like Metro Man and it didn't work. And the takeaway was, why doesn't he be like himself? DC has great properties and should rely on them. Okay, I got you. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, they need to have more faith in their own properties. WB Discovery need to have more faith in DC. I always say like if only DC was under a different studio. Ah, if only. Just like Marvel is under Disney, you know. Uh, a lot of people criticize when Disney bought Marvel a decade ago, but that was also a smart move. Just like Marvel Studios absorbed Marvel Television was a smart move. So sometimes we as fans we like to like get outraged when there's a business decision that we don't like. But then it turned out to be great. In this case, however, the business decisions of WB Discovery about their DC properties, it's hard to like see where this is going. It's hard to visualize that this is going to be successful. Especially if all they're gonna do is just copy Marvel. You know, they don't believe in their projects, but they're gonna try to copy Marvel, hoping that they would get some of that Marvel success on them. So it seems so. I don't know. It's not as substantive as I would hope. As I hope it would. It should be like it should be more than just like, oh yeah, we're gonna copy Marvel. It should be more than that. It's like maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's the update right now that I can give you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Thank you so much for those of you guys who tuned in or chat in with me in the chat room. Those of you guys who didn't, share your thoughts in the comment section below. All right? Let's rock this. Gotta go.